Hello everyone, Kenty Tiger here with Bengali Engineering and Play. We are back in Space Engineers and we're continuing work on the build and repair system Shipyard. So this is like, let me see, episode 4 I think. So made a couple changes. As you all know, I'm a little OCD thing. So what I did was swap out a few things. I like having, normally I call them fuel ice containers because they contain fuel and ice. In this case, because my ice use is separated from the fuel use, I decided I was going to go ahead and put containers in where conveyors were. So basically using the space that conveyors were in with small containers. So in some cases where there was just a conveyor instead of a conveyor junction, so sorry, conveyor junction was here and a conveyor was here. So swap those out. So with the 8 reactors, there are 3 fuel ice containers per reactor. And because they're small, obviously you're not going to store that much in them. I think they're like 24,000 liters or something like that. They're not very big, obviously. So not a big deal. So 24 containers between the 8 reactors, which shouldn't be an issue. And I was kind of pondering what I really wanted to do on this end as far as fuel ice goes for these guys. And I was thinking in the end I will just put a large container down here. So with that in mind, we'll grab a large container. So I'm getting rid of the batteries. I'm done with medical rooms. Actually, no, I'm not, because I kind of want like a habitat room. I'm done with the oxygen generators, done with the hydrogen tanks and oxygen tanks, because there's no real reason to put tanks on. Because when you're filling a ship, it's not going to take content out of the tanks. The tanks are not going to equalize and then fill up. It's all about generation. Once the tanks are full, they're full. They don't ever equalize. So, not sure how that works in their physics, but that's the way it is. All right, so large container. So what I'm going to do is do a large container at each oxygen generation farm or gas generation farm, and that will be literally ice storage 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's kind of what we're doing now. I still want to build cryo chambers. I think that is a good thing to do. So I've stuck with the vanilla thing. The only thing I did not do off screen this last time was reload, and I should have, because I do want to swap out the remainder of those batteries. So those batteries are still something I need to do, which is to say I've still got some Kenty batteries in there, so I want to get rid of those. Alright, so that was to get me beyond the end of this, and then 8, which is a large container here, and I'm keeping it, I think, in the same venue as the one. Let me go look, just to see how I did. Yeah, the rails were end to end. So we'll keep that in the same venue. And click. All right. So yep, I can see one down there. And the only thing I have to do is put the connectors. So I like to do connectors out here on the end so ships can come by and actually put stuff in. We're gonna touch on to this here K to get into my control panel, and then we have these 4 containers. So what I'm gonna call these is container, ice, storage, and this happens to be 01. So copy, so control A, change to me, and then go to the next one, and this will become 2, this will become 3, this will become 4. Alright, and like I've done with other stuff, I'm going to do containers, ice. Maybe we'll just say ice. Containers, ice. Save. And off on the config and off on the terminal. Alright. Now, one of the other things I did off screen, if you remember, I was whining about how the mirroring does not work on oxygen generators, and I knew that. I was just being stupid. That's been broken forever. So anyway, I fixed it. I fixed it. I got the these guys configured, so they're all working and everything now. So what I need to do inventory wise, I'm going to get rid of all of these reactors. Here's what we're going to do there. So the K reactors, we're going to turn them off and turn off the conveyor systems. And why I'm doing that is because I want to pull the uranium out of them. I don't just want the uranium going anywhere. I want the uranium to specifically go into either the reactors, the working reactors. Oh, we are out of uranium. So, large reactor. I did look at the batteries. The batteries are all charged up, which is really nice. All right, so that's all the main reactors, 1 through 8, which are all the normal reactors there. Fuel. All right, so the next thing we do is fill those up. And I'm going to fill these as much as I can. So that way, when this goes up onto the workshop, it's actually going to have a full spattering of fuel and ice. And what I'm going to do is spend a little bit of time and do some piracy and dismantle stuff. We may end up with more. More uranium than we can store, which is fine. I will put the excess to all right. So large reactor. A whole lot. All right. All of this is going to go into here. And then that should be all of the Kenti reactors should be empty. Large Kenti. Okay, all of these are empty. Now, here's what we're doing. This is the grind color. So we actually will color these things to specific colors. That one and that one. Alright, gone. All gone. Alright, so they pulled in those parts and everything. Alright, now the last thing we need to do is fill up our fuel ice containers. So we go over to inventory because I always punch the wrong button, and ice storage. Okay, so we have 4 of these containers here. We grab our ice and we go funk. 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 All right. Now all of our, we'll go ahead and look at the generators. The generators are pretty close. And I'm just going to leave them exactly as they are. I'm not going to mess with any of those. In fact, what I think I will do is stick my bottle in there. That went back to 100%. There we go. Alright, so at this point, what I can do is I'm going to disconnect this rather than normally I would grind this, but I'm going to disconnect it. And the reason I'm going to disconnect it is because I actually want to delete this. So this was my little cheater mechanism. So by deleting it, I delete everything in it. So not only do you delete the parts and pieces, but you actually delete everything that's in the container. Because it's Space Master, it's not going to just break the container and then be it. So normally when you grind down a container and it's got stuff in it, then you're going to just have a mess on your hands. Alright, so we're actually doing pretty good here. So some of the projects that we need to do is a landing pad. And the problem I have now is where to put the landing pads. So this is kind of an entry area here. If we look towards the center, there's just nothing anywhere. So the only thing we could do conceivably is just go right over the top of something if we really wanted to. And I guess we could do that. You know, put the landing pad up on the back here. Certainly nothing wrong with that. The other question is, do we want to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the center area. Do we want to build something like right here? Gee, let me go ahead and swap out. I was using heavy armor blocks, so let me go ahead and swap out to light armor blocks. Swap that one out. Question kind of is, what do I want to do here? Whoa. Oh, okay. So I suppose if I were being intelligent, I would want this for visibility. And what I mean by that is if you think about a square block, then so, for example, let me just say I am standing right here. So my view, as you can see, if I look down, actually has a pretty good view. Whereas if I had a block like this, then I can't see down because I'm seeing to the edge of this block. So this actually gives me a lot more visibility. So this is my working area here. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do some things. Going to do the 2 there. Alright, so the next question is, I want to put alright, we might be able to do things this way. Here's why I did that. I want to put a window here. The problem with the windows, 2, 3 flat. Is I didn't have a surface to put them on, which is unfortunate, but is reality. Alright, 3, and we will put those there. 1, 8. So we'll do airlocks on both sides. I think. How can I do that? Do we need to look up? Do we need to look up? No. Most of everything that's going to happen is going to happen right out there. Alright. So I really want to change this out with, ideally would be that one, but I don't think I can connect on there, which means I need to do a regular. Darn it. Well, thank goodness for the nanobots, because they clean up stuff really, really well, even when I screw up. So that's pretty impressive. All right, this and all right. Windows take 2. so the question is, do I want kind of two landing pads? So I guess let's build the habitat first, right? So what do I need here in the front? We need control consoles. You know what I just thought of? I had mirroring on, which means it's building the same thing over there. Oops. Alright, so mirroring is turned off. Let me go fix this. You know what we're going to do? We're going to let the nanobots do what the nanobots do. Alright. So, to now return this to its normal state. This should be I think this is a 7. Alright, and then this should be there. Alright, I think that's repaired. It looks like just about back to where it should be. Alright, oops. Alright, side right here. That would let me put also want access, essentially, and it's just a matter of figuring out how do I do that. All right, let's get the floor in here. This may or may not end up being the floor. So what all do I really need in here? I'm going to do the corner piece here. So, put that there, which will take the stuff outside. So, getting a little creative here. We're going to use that piece for both showers and beds. So we're going to have to use some imagination, some pretending. So two. So there's a shower on that side. We'll put a shower on this side. And then I think what we'll do is put cryo chambers on this side. So cryo chamber and cryo chamber. I don't know how many cryos we really truly need. Let's go ahead and do 6. Question is, do I want window here or something else? Okay, I'm gonna grab a small container again, and the reason I'm doing a small container, because I want some way for people to have access to stuff. So by having a container, then you actually can access the conveyor system. Okay, so we'll do that. So probably uncouth to have bed in a shower. And what I mean by that is I was thinking I would put racks here, but let's go ahead and put racks. So there's a rack. And there's a rack. There's a rack. There's a rack. Okay, so 4 racks. And just because I like to utilize space with practical objects, I'm going to put a battery right there. So I'm going to do batteries in the way of these things. I think we'll leave windows there and batteries. That way we have each of the little racks, and in this case we're going to put do we want to do the kind of false end or something else? Alright, so let's go over to this side and we will do similar over here. 9 goes there. 3, 4 there, and nice little freezing there. Alright, then the next real question is, well, landing pad. Landing pad, landing pad. So, light armor. Maybe I'll cheat a little bit. Wait. Do we put a plate there, or do we put a window there? Do you like showering next to a window? guess we can put airlocks here. 1, 8. So the question is, do we put 4 air vents? Do we play it really safe? Not really sure I like the airlocks there. I was thinking windows. The question is, how do we change? Maybe we put the airlock here. Come out the sides. Do we really need to come straight out the front to here? Maybe not. Convenient, but landing pad means we only need 2 airlocks. So let's do that. Let's change things up a little bit. So that goes there, that goes there. Oh, great. That was not what I wanted to have happen. Alright, so we change Alright, back to number 1. We're going to strip all that off. We're going to remove that because now we have an airlock here. So I'm going to turn on this for a little while, and because these are floating on the other side, then I don't really have to worry about them. So let me do those, which is the outer door and the inner door, and here. Then figure out how to do this here. Shower. I don't know what I had done on this side. So I could either put a corner piece in here, or block? Battery? Battery. Let's put a battery there. And of course I put all the batteries upside down. Of course I did. Well, we gotta fix that. There we go. Alright, and now I can get rid of these because these don't really serve any function. And then can put my armor plate back on. So plate, 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 plate. And then we have a window. Window. Now, one of the things I was thinking seriously about was putting M Master's automatic LCD scripts in, and I think I will go ahead and do that. All right. So what can I do here? Do I just put this, or do I put armor on? Good question. Do I want armor on the outer side, or do we want I am not sure. Ideally would be armored. So let's do that. This is a landing pad over here. I can put a window here. So 3. And that double layer of glass there. Okay, we'll come back and deal with that in a moment. Okay, so this should have mirrored on this side. Yes, it did. I'm not going to screw something up here. I can either connect these down and sacrifice a battery, or I come up. So I think I'm going to come up. In. And then technically that connects underneath there, so side to side connects there. So I have my redundancy, or it connects up here. Alright, I'm happy with that. So, back to blocks. Alright, 9-4 is there's that one, and that one. So not ideal windows perhaps, but windows nonetheless. Alright, so we are going to 0, 1, oops, other way, corner invert corner is actually going to go like that. A slope, darn it. do we want skylights? Why not? Let's do that. Let's do 2 large windows. Or is it 4? How many do we want? Or do we want the windows back here? Over the living area? Might be nice. Yeah, I think that might be nice. Alright, and then put some armor plate up here. All the way around our windows. Or do we just cover the whole roof to make it look nice? Alright, and then, so 9, 1, and pink. There we go. Nice dirty glass that looks like a bunch of cats walked all over it. Don't know how exactly glass gets dirty in space. Alright. Not a bad area, I don't think. So, one of the things I want to see if I can see, and I guess the answer is no. Let's see if we can look through here. Huh. Oh, because the doors are open. How about? Alright, so let's call this sliding door airlock 1 inner. Alright, let's fix this. So everything needs to be me. Alright, actually I just looked at the timer. It says an hour. So I'm as close to an hour as I think I've ever been. So we'll break here and we'll pick up right where we left off. So this is Kenty Tiger signing off, and we will catch you next time.